What's up guys, and welcome to today's video of We Are the Bonsai Supply. I am Jerome, and today we're going to work on this sea hibiscus. So this is not the regular green sea hibiscus, this is the tricolored sea hibiscus. So that means that this tree has three different colors. So it has the green leaves, it has the red leaves, and then it also has the variegated leaves, which are white and green. So on this sea hibiscus, the leaves are much larger than on the regular green sea hibiscus, but you can still shrink these leaves way down. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is how you can shrink the leaves and how can you maintain the leaves and keep the leaves small. So on a tree that has leaves this size, what I like to do is to go through the entire tree about once a week and just remove all the large leaves. Now what that does, when you remove a large leaf, it actually brings back two smaller leaves. And I like to refer to leaves as solar panel. So the bigger the leaves are, that usually means that you have less branches, right? And the more branches you have, the smaller the solar panels or the leaves can come back. So when I remove this, two leaves about this size will come back. And when I remove these two leaves, four leaves half the size of these leaves will come back, and so on and so on. So you can really shrink these leaves down. Now the reason why these leaves are still so big and why this tree is now in a plastic pot, you may remember this tree. I did a couple videos on this tree before. The reason why it is in a plastic pot is because somebody thought it was a good idea to cut down a palm tree on the other side of where this tree was. So there was a big wall behind it, and there was a palm tree on the outside of the wall, and somebody thought it was a good idea to cut the tree down without looking what's on the other side. So the palm tree on the other side fell over on this side, cracked the tree in half, broke the pot, threw it on the floor, and I lost a lot of branches. So the best thing to do at this point, because this tree was so shocked and really weak, was to defoliate it, which means that we take away the stress from the leaves, right? So the tree can focus on regrowing the roots and getting healthy. If we leave the leaves, the tree has too much work to do to keep these leaves alive. So that's why I removed the leaves, potted it into this big pot, and then just let it freely grow for about a year. And this is actually what you see, which is the growth of a year. So they grow extremely fast. Now as you can see on the outside, the leaves are starting to get really big, as you can see. I mean, this leaf is, this leaf is gigantic. It's bigger than my hand. And we can shrink this down to about this size and also maintain the leaves on this size. So another thing that I wanted to show you guys in today's video is how to fix big wounds. So there's a couple things that we can do to correct that and make it heal over in a way that in a couple years you won't be able to tell that there was ever a big scar or cut there. And then another thing we're going to do is we're going to repot this tree into its final container and have a beautiful container. Alright, so first order of business, we're going to have to go ahead and defoliate the entire tree, and of course for that I need some help. So let me call Mari.
Alright, here I am. Let's do this.
So basically what we do is we just remove the leaf and we leave the little stem behind, as you can see here. And we leave the stem behind for dieback. So this stem will turn yellow and then brown and it will fall off. And therefore we don't get any dieback on the immediate branches. So we're going to do this throughout the entire tree. Alright, so as soon as Mari is done finishing removing all of the leaves, she's going to start to remove the wire as well, wherever the wire is cutting into the branch, while I take a well-deserved break.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. I see some more leaves on that side, like some small ones.
Oh my gosh. See guys, this is how it actually goes. Guys,
Somebody has to be in charge.
Bossing me around.
So right after Murray finished removing all the wire, I went through and I cut the entire tree back. As you saw, this is a very strong upright growing tree, as you can see over here. This branch is probably less than a year old, so they grow extremely fast. So I cut everything back to where the movement stopped. So the first order of business is to wire out all the branches into position. And now that they are set in place, now I'm going to start with clip and grow. So I clipped everything back to where the movement stops. Now this branch I'm going to leave long, and the reason why is because I have a big wound here. And in order to heal this wound over, I'm going to have to keep this guy here. You always want to have growth on top of the wound, because the energy goes through the wound and heals the wound much faster. If this was at the bottom, the wound would not heal as fast as if it is healing now, since this is on top. Now this surface here is completely straight, so I have to dig this in a little deeper and just concave it in just a little more. And I'm going to use a number of tools for this. I'm going to use a knob cutter, some chisels, and as well as Dremels, and as well as a Dremel. And all I want to do is just bring the entire surface from straight, just bring it in a little more, so that this can roll over and heal this portion here really nicely. And so there's a few cuts where I have to do this, but it's not a big job. Just make sure that it's not completely straight. Alright, so now as you can see, now that the straightness has gone away, this can now properly roll over and heal this section completely. So this will look like that in just a couple of years, and then I will remove this piece. Alright, so I actually carved a big hole in the center here. It was rotting in the center on the top here, so I had to make a hollow in between. Then we repotted the tree, and we pretty much, I mean, you saw how good these roots looked. And so we reduced the root ball greatly to fit it into this container, but also sea hibiscuses, they fill out the pot extremely fast. So this entire pot will be filled out with roots once again in about 6 months' time. So this tree can also be propagated from cuttings, and actually really large cuttings. So I could cut the trunk off and take the top and plant it, and it would regrow. That's also a really cool part of the sea hibiscus. So we repotted it into its new pot. Hopefully this is going to be its final container. It has a really nice bird in the front and some flowers. I do like the combination a lot because this tree actually flowers also. The flowers come out yellow in the morning, and then they turn like to a reddish pinkish in the afternoon, and then to a dark red at night. So now I'm going to place this tree right out into full sun, and this tree doesn't have to be kept in the shade. This is one of those super trees, just like a ficus or a rain tree, where you don't have to keep it in the shade after you repot it. This tree will be fully leaved out in about 2 weeks time, so they grow extremely fast, and I'm going to be working on keeping the leaves smaller as well as keeping the canopy more contained. So this is really it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Please comment below and let me know what you think of this new design and this new pot, and also make sure that you subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.